Hi, I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies, and today this came in the mail. The tag says the greatest bow ever. Now, I don't know if that's a bit of play on words or whether everyone got the greatest bow ever made, but this certainly showed up today. I certainly didn't pay for it. So, it comes from PSE. It's the Dominator, so the new Dominator. Now, I knew nothing about this bow, so I knew nothing about it. It dropped today, so it was on the PSE websites today, and this bow rocked up today. It's a 40-inch M2, which I assume is what everyone's got. It's in green. And PSE claims that this is the greatest bow ever. So let's have a look at this bow. Now, to me, it looks like the bows of the past, so I've got some of their bows of the past. So let's open it up and sort of take a look. So that's it. That's as much packing as there is inside. Right, so with this bow, it's 5.2 pounds. It's 40 inches axle, a little bit over a 7-inch brace height. It's pretty quick, I think. I think it's about 340 feet per second. And I think the draw length goes from, I should probably just check on the card here because I always keep these cards on when I shoot PSEs. It goes from 27 inches to 31. That's a nice draw length adjustment. And I got most of those specs right. 7.125 brace, 340. So that wasn't too bad off the top of my head. Right, so what's changed? This is an M2 cam. Now, what's happened with PSE, and when I say PSE, the Dominator, I've got 3 cams. So this, I'm going to guess, this is the fast one. They've still got the SE and they've got another one, S2. Now this makes it really confusing for people because they're like, which one do I choose? Now on top of that confusion, PSE is releasing this bow in a 40, 38 and a 35 inch axle size. So that means you've got 9 combinations if you're a shop to stock. That's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. And I don't know how any shop's going to handle that because these are expensive bows and I don't know how they're going to stock it to know what people want. And not only will they go, well, a customer will go, I want an S2 in a 38 in a blue right-handed. What's your chances of having that bow? In 40 pounds? None. Right, so that's my first point. I think you've added so much confusion to the realms that I much preferred when PSE did custom options like blue cams and red cams. It was the same bow, just different colours, and that to me is very understandable. This becomes a bit hard, like I don't know what to do. Right, so it's the same yoke system as before. Now the module looks more meaty than before. So all the PSEs have had the same module before. This one looks more meaty. It's not a twin track, so it's not a track either side. It's still one single track, but it looks meatier. The limbs we're going to go on, they look like an older style limb, so we're going to go over that. Metal limb pockets. No locking system here. So this looks like, so there was the Dominator, then there was the Perform, then there was a Citation, then there's this. So it's gone back. So we're talking probably 6, I'm guessing I shot a Dominator about 6 to 7 years ago. So this looks like a very similar system to the Dominator about 6 or 7 years ago. I much prefer a lock-in limb system in. PSE's done away with that, and we're going to go through that. Cable guard. Cable guard's different than before. Twin locking system, I like this. This is good. You can adjust it in or out, so it's very much like lots of the other bows on the market, Elite, and lots of people have got this, and PSE's got it. It's a very standard system. Roller cable guide, which is good. It's quite good. Dual locking systems, which is good. Multiple sight pitches, which is good. Now PSE has gone from an anodized finish to a paint finish. I don't know how that's going to go. Like this green's pretty, going to be fairly popular, and the tan's going to be pretty popular. But I don't know how that is going to pan out for PSE. I think it was a risky move. and it's not a move I would have taken to go away from the anodized finish. The anodized finish is so durable, it's just like bulletproof. Now, limb pockets are interesting. So you see here where this little thing goes in, you'll see there's silver around the side here. Now on this side, you'll see a big lot of silver. Now I'll tell you the reason for that. This little bushing in here is fatter on one side than the other side. So it's fat on this side and thinner on this side. And that's so you can slot it in. Now, I'm going to guess that customers, when they pay, and I don't know the price of this bow, but I'm going to guess when customers pay for this bow, they're going to be complaining about that. So I'm showing you this up front. It's there. Look, I don't mind the grip. Look, the grip feels like a PSE grip. You can see the hole in the grip, so it's going to obviously take a plastic thing from UltraView, I'm going to guess. Single string stop. Now, the Dominator that I shot had the ability to fit two stops, one high and one low, and that was kind of a selling point. So the cams look the same. The limbs look like an older limb system, which we'll go through. Two spots here, which is nice. Look, the serial number here is quite nice. Duo looks quite nice. Now my thing on this is what price points are going to be. Now I'm going to guess it's going to be fairly high. I'm going to guess it's not going to be as high as the Hoyt Stratos, but I'm going to guess it's going to be in that sort of realm. And I don't know how it's going to go at that price point. Just from looking at it, it might go really well, but just looking at it, I'm like... So back when I shot my Dominator, I'm going to go 6 years ago, it was $1,200 bucks. I'm pretty sure it's 1,200. I'm pretty sure it was that price. Might have been more. 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8. As soon as you're looking at that, people go, whoa, any sort of defect people are going to pick up. Even at cheaper end bows, people will pick up any kind of defects. Now, PSE in the past had shims down the bottom here, little plastic spaces. Okay, so they had little spaces in here, and basically before you'd press the limb and then you'd change the spaces in or out depending on your tune and how you grip the bow. It was a bit of a pain, and I've done videos where I've had to do that, and they've had other variations on that theme which I've done videos on as well, and we're going to go through that. This year they've got something different. They've got these little things. They like to clip. They clip out and they clip in. You can just pull them out. They have a little tool and you pull them out. I don't have one of those tools. I know Lancaster do. I don't. You pull them out and put them back in. Now, that's all well and good. It's got two things which is all well and good. It's kind of like a Matthews top hat system where you know the size of each one of these modules. You can clip one in and it's got to be a set size, right? So let's say the size is 22. So both of these modules have got to go up to 22. Then you play around with, you know, the number 22 and how they fit, which is kind of nice. Like, you know, you just clip them in, clip them out. My thing will be, are these going to be durable? Because they're new. And when something's new, I'm always a bit questionable about it. So PSE have done away with their big axles. So PSE had big, thick axles before, which were really nice. So if you look on your Hoyt Stratos, they use thin axles, and you'll get a bit of the limbs angling down, which PSE used to have on their old models, and they went for a big thick axle, went away from it. This is a different axle system, so that's what it looks like. I don't know if that's like pointing down or not, and we'll do it from the top. There. Look, it doesn't look too bad. It didn't affect any of the performance or anything. The strings are going to be a live wire string, which is made by PSE by computer. Look, I've got no problems with live wire strings. I know lots of people fit custom strings to their bows. I don't know why. I think it's a waste of money. But, you know, if you want to do it, that's up to you. Look, that's the Duo. Greatest bow ever. It looks a bit like my old Dominator from 8 years ago. Cable guard's different. And I'm going to say better. These things up here, I don't know if it's good or bad. It's never really been an issue for me. And most times when I torque tune a bow, moving the cams left and right, it's the archer. So for one person it will be perfect, for the next person it won't be. So it was always like, and you're moving the thinnest of modules, like the thinnest little spacer you're moving. I like the writing on the limbs, they look fantastic. I'm going to say that's an improvement. It's definitely an improvement on the old Dominator, the black one from 6 years ago. I love the white limbs, that looks an improvement on last year's. I don't know how robust this paint's going to be. So this is the bow. Now, one of the things about this bow is you can convert it from left to right. $2,500 bow. The person's going to come in my shop and go, hey, can you convert the bow to left to right for me? I'm going to go, no. I'm going to go, no, I don't really want to. Right, so let's just go through that process. You have to loosen off these. You have to loosen off these bolts here. You've got to put the bow on a bow press. You take the strings off, which means you have to retime when you put the strings back on. You've got to take the strings off. You loosen these two side things. You loosen them there. Lots of times when people press the bows, they'll press them too much and then they'll get splits in the limbs. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Some of those splits will occur the day after you press the bow, but they generally occur pretty close to the time which you press the bow, if not during the pressing of the bow. Right, so splits in there, pressing the bow too much. So that's my first concern. So you take the strings off, loosen that, limbs will come out, you flip them around, put it back together, move the cable guide from there to there, swap this around, put the strings back on, retime it, and you're back in business. That's going to take you about an hour from go to way. Now the problem I have with doing it and why I'd be like, oh, I don't really want to do it for you, is because if I scratch these limbs, if I like do something and I get a scratch, I've taken a $2,500 bow and made it, I've taken $200 to $300 off the price of the bow, maybe $400, and suddenly I'm not making money. That's why I don't want to do it. And for my hours of labor, now I know in America you probably pay your staff $7 an hour, no disrespect, I know some people are on $7 an hour. Over here I pay my staff about 30 something dollars an hour, so it's costing me about $40 an hour. So I'm going to take $40 off, and I run the risk that they don't time it correctly. I run the risk they'll scratch something, right? So I don't generally want to do it. I prefer to have a left or right-handed bow. But left or right hand is the same. It used to be the same on the Dominator, that you used to be able to switch them back to forward. It's going to be handy when you go to sell the bow, especially if you've got a left-handed bow, because you can make it a right-handed bow, so it's very hard to sell left-handed bows. So converting it from left to right is definitely a plus point for resale value, not so much for the purchasing. So now I want to go through the old PSE bows of the past, so you can kind of see what's changed and, you know, the way things look. Now, this is the bow I took to Vegas. This is the PSE Perform. It was the one that replaced the Dominator. I think this bow was better than the Dominator. It had this thing which I thought was silly, where you can move the limbs left or right to do the thing. I thought this was silly, and lots of people at Vegas came and told me they thought so too. And that was a huge risk for me saying that, because, you know, PSE might hate me for doing that. Limp Pockets are... PSE's changed limb pockets. So here we had a locking screw. This locked in, and you lock it in, it pushes the limbs out here, and you lock them in here. PSE's done away with that. So they've done away with that. We're going to say the cable guard's better. Now these were the original strings. I shot this boat heaps. Original strings. So we're going to say the cable guard's better on the new one. This one's flexible. The new one's metal, which you can angle in or out to change the torque. This is pretty much the same. Look, the cam's pretty much the same. This is the SE cam, which is still available. And I'm going to say the module is a little bit more durable, and the new one looks thicker. I don't know if that's the same for the SE or not, but it definitely looks thicker, and if it's thicker, that's a plus. But to me, it's like, yeah, it looks like pretty much the same bow. The graphics are obviously better on the new one, but these limbs look the same. They look like the same profile as the Dominator. Okay, this is the PSE Citation. This replaced the Perform. So this was meant to be the bee's knees. Now, they put the locking system in. Now, you can see mine never came with the screw. Didn't come from the factory with it. They forgot to put the screw in, right? The bottom had it, top missed it. But this was a good idea. This was a big plus. Now, limbs. You can see they got rid of the limb system, so this is similar to the current version. The SE cam. Now, this year the Citation had a couple of cams, and I was like, which one do I shoot? And I tried one. I tried the EM, and that was really fast. I was having trouble pulling it back. I'm a lot stronger now, so maybe I'd be okay. But then the draw length is a little bit short for me, 28.5. I really needed 29, so I was like, I can't get it to fit, so I went for this one. Cable guard went into the back, metal rod, which is non-adjustable, 2 screws. Look, probably better than the one before, so a slight upgrade. Multiple sight pins, dual things. Okay, what was different on this one? The limbs were contoured. So the thick part was here, and it's thinner here and thinner up here. The concept of this limb was you use more of the limb overall. So it was meant to increase the speed of the bow. PSE looks like they've gone back to the old design for the new Dominator. So this was an anodized finish. Look, I thought the bow was quite good. I really had no issues. The issue I had was price point. The Supra was basically a very similar bow, and lots of the top shooters shot Supras. So you went, well, for this you're paying the extra dollars for a shoot-through riser. So the Supra outsold the Citation probably 10 to 1. Right, so we go back to the Dominator. So how's this stacking up as the greatest bow ever? Look, the weight feels the same, the grip feels the same. Like this, like that. Look, it looks okay. I'd be interested to try this cam system, so we will do a review on it, on the bow, and test it. Now, my biggest issue, I'm going to say, and you know, PSE is going to hate me for it, and you know, they were okay when I said negative stuff before, but I don't know how it is now. So, I'm going to say up front, me and PSE had a fallout. So, I'm going to say that. I had lots of bows in stock. So, when a new bow would come out, I'd stock all the colours and all the poundages. I'd have them all in stock. So, when the new bow comes out, I would just automatically order all the colours, all the poundages. They'd be in stock, and it was my job to sell them. Right, so that was my risk I took, and that was the way it's always been for 20 odd years. Right, I just brought lots of bows in and all the colors, and then you sell the blue one, and then you're out of the blue ones and you order another blue one. So I always had all the colors. It made it pretty good for me. It's good for me as a risk about getting the thing, but it's like it was good for the customers because they could choose what color they wanted and which bow they wanted. PSE then appointed another dealer, and there was a pricing war because he was selling stuff at below cost. My dealers went out of business, and that was it. I was like, what do I do with all this stock now? Because he's selling it below the price I paid for it, and I've got a whole heap of stock, and he's got 5 bows. So it kind of made it like, well, I can't stock this stuff, right? So it kind of killed the brand for me. And, you know, I rang up and I complained and I bitched and I whinged and I literally rang everyone. And I literally rang John, and I was like, I need help. And John's like, he goes, I don't work there anymore. So it's like, I was like, okay, I suppose it is what it is, right? So my thing is, for this year, and when I say I've had a fallout with PSE, like I still buy PSE. Their customer service is very good. They supply products. It's very good. My problem is I have trouble stocking these products now because there's no margin. There's no margin, so I'm like, well, do I want to sell this because I'm going to be selling it for no money? Now, my cost of doing business is 10%, and I'm going to say more than 10%. My staff costs are 10%. So if I sell a bow for $2,000, it's going to cost $200 in staff wages. It's the way my budgets are, right? So if I sell $2 million worth of stuff, I have a $200,000 staff wage. If I sell $3 million, I have a $300,000 staff wage bill. Generally the way it works. Sometimes my staff wage is higher than that. Like I have been running around 18%, which means I'm losing money. But the margins are tight in archery. Freight costs are up, and you know, I'm like, this guy's done his numbers wrong. He cannot be importing bows at these prices. He's done stuff wrong. And I can't even bring them in by shipping container to cut the costs so I can bring them in profitably, because he's done the maths wrong, and I can't even bring them in on a shipping container for the price he's done his maths for, because it is what it is. So my problem is PSE produce a new bow like this with three types of cams, 3 models, and it might be really popular, but I don't know what to stock. Now, this is going to be a common issue for all shops around America and Canada and around the world. Which one of these bows are you going to stock, and in which color and what poundage? Or are you not going to stock it and just order it as people want it to come in? In which case, customers will generally want to touch and feel the bow before they choose it. That's going to be a problem, because you're going to need to have three cams. In what poundage are you going to stock them in? 50 or 60, because you're going to have people who want 50s or 60s. And you're going to have people who want 40s, 38s, and 35s. And it depends on the profit margin. So I'm going to put that out there. So look, it is the archery industry, and it's happened. You know, I've been doing this for 40 years, and I've had it all before where people have, you know, gone, look, we're going to sell your biggest selling item at cost price just to make your life difficult. And I'm like, well, go for it. You can sell lots of bows at cost. But it was like, I can't do anything with this product now. I can't stock it. So anyway, that's where we're at now with PSE. So right now when I see this, I'm like, well, I don't know what to do with it, because I can't stock it. I can't even look at stocking it. It is what it is. So new PSE Dominator, I don't know a price point, but I'm going to guess it's in that price realm. We're going to do a test on it and see how it shoots and see how this cam is. So yeah, it is what it is. Now, these problems I mentioned probably don't exist in America and Canada, because they have price control on products. So they have a price point, and that's the price of the product, and that's what it's sold for. In Australia, you can absolutely buy these bows in Australia, ship them into America for cheaper than you can buy them in America. There's no question of that, because the guy's selling them at below cost. So, and you get all your warranty as well, because it's all backed by PSE, which have an unbelievable warranty. Which PSE don't want me to probably say that you can buy them all in America, because they'll annoy all the American dealers. But you can absolutely buy them in Australia, save you 10% tax, and just ship them into America, and you'll be saving a fortune, because the guy's selling them at below cost. Anyway, that's the bow. Look, I don't know. Like, it looks alright, but it doesn't, to me, like, this is okay, but I'd have to test it. And I say this when I see new designs. Look, you want to test it to see how it is. To me, it reminds me of the old Dominator, which is okay. Like, it was a good bow. Many people still shoot the old Dominator. Very popular bow. I just don't know if it's got enough bits. When you compare it to all the modern bows, and I want to say all the modern bows, all the target bows out there, and I'm going to say why PSE don't do stuff. PSE don't offer roller slides here on their target bow, because they say it puts too much torque on the strings and cables, which causes torque on the limbs. That's why they don't do it, but Hoyt's running it now, Elite's running it, and Bowtech don't, I think, is the solution. But then depends how you think, what you think of this system. Whether you think this system is better than the Bowtech, where you can move backwards and forwards, but Bowtech's got the dual modules, so you can change from performance to non-performance. And Elite's got all the strings and cable stop things going on. So, but I do like the fact that they beefed up the module. So I like that. It definitely looks more beefed up. So, and I don't know what I think about the paint. So time will tell whether this is a robust, durable finish. It may be that this paint finish will be very popular. I don't know. It will be interesting. When I first do these and first do reports, it's like, how will people take this? Will there be lots of phone calls like, we need these bows right now, order me one, or will there be silence? That will be interesting to see. So I don't know the delivery time on these new bows. Like I said, I didn't even know they were out. It's a interesting thing. I would have preferred adjustable grips and stuff, but like, if you shoot PSE, you're familiar with this grip and you'll be okay with it. So I'm Stephen Hand from Archery Supplies. Thanks for watching. We'll do a full bow report of this. We put it through the chronograph, we shoot it at 80 meters, and we'll see how well we go. Thanks for watching.